Hi there, welcome back to Riella's Army of Dolls, where I talk all things fashion doll. And today I'm having a look at some of the recent fantasy offerings that have been available from JHD and from Integrity Toys. As you know, I absolutely love fantasy dolls. In fact, to me, that is the nature of a doll. It is fantasy. And so throwing in super long hair, exaggerated hair colors, gowns to the floor, these are the things that make me just love and want to instantly buy a doll that I see. So it's really exciting when companies put those out. End of last year, I did receive a couple of big boxes. These are absolutely gigantic. So this one is Violaine Perrin, Sirene from Integrity Toys. She is obviously mermaid themed, and I just love the concept. This was an instant buy and she has become very popular as well. She was a W Club exclusive doll, so anyone could order her. It ended up being 2,586 of this doll released, and she is now going for quite a bit more than her release price, which was $199. Now JHD also got in on the fantasy theme and they released the paired Aphrodite dolls, Morning Glow and Evening Glow. I ordered just Morning Glow, and again, absolutely mammoth box. These were both very expensive dolls to ship back to Australia, unfortunately. There were two of these dolls. There are 800 of each available. Now this one you still can buy. She was also very popular, but you know, JHD popularity versus Integrity Toys popularity, never going to be quite as much. The price on this doll varied just a little bit depending on which dealer you got it from, which country they were located in, but roughly the same, about $200 as well. Now, interestingly, both of these dolls have suffered roughly the same criticism from collectors, which is that they're way too derivative, both of each other and more specifically of Barbie. And you can see that when you look at them. Obviously, we've had a mermaid Barbie, you know, fair while before Sirene, and we've also had an Aphrodite Barbie again quite a bit earlier. And these dolls, they really do have a lot of similarities with those as well as with each other. But at the same time, I think that these dolls highlight some really fun and unique features that these brands offer. And it's all very well to say a doll is derivative, but if that idea is popular, you know, it's hard to make a mermaid or it's hard to make an Aphrodite without it looking like it's derivative of something. For example, the Aphrodite, yes, the gown shape and the colors of this JHD doll do resemble somewhat the Barbie version. But other than that, actually most of the concept of this doll come from the artworks and the main ideas. And JHD have actually created the shell design, which I think is really cool. And yes, the Barbie box did show a shell on it, but at the same time, nearly all of the Aphrodite artwork shows the doll in a shell, so why wouldn't we put that on the box? Anyway, I want to do a bit of a comparison of these dolls and also show you whether I think they're worth that $200 price tag. Both dolls come in nice collectible boxes. They are both absolutely massive. The Aphrodite box is about twice as thick as the Sirene box, and that is going to make it both hard to ship and a bit hard to display if you are someone who likes to leave their dolls in boxes, which I'm not, but I do have to store them in case I decide to resell the dolls. Personally, I think the Sirene box is quite a lot prettier. It's got this, you know, unique artwork. It's got the new fantasy labeling on it. The Aphrodite box is pretty simple. That said, when I open her, the thing that I love about this box is that she is all ready for display in there. You don't have to take her out at all. So you can see everything. You can see that beautiful shell behind her. Whereas when I open Violaine, I mean, you can also display her like this if you want, but she isn't kind of all set up. She's just there. She's sitting in the box. And I think, you know, that's fine. But I wouldn't display a doll like this, whereas I would display a doll like this if I wanted to. Now, I am going to primarily look at these dolls one at a time and then do a bit more of a comparison at the end. So let's have a look first at Violaine. I do like that the Integrity Toys gift boxes come with, you know, these little clothing forms and things so that everything is pretty much displayed in front of you. You can see all the different details that way. I love Violaine's hair color. It's, you know, it's got that fantasy hair color, which is great. It's a little bit wavy. It's got pinks and platinum blonde mixed in there. One of the criticisms of this doll on her release was that she doesn't have any eyelashes, and the response from Integrity Toys was that because they had painted her lashes blue, they didn't want to attach black ones as it would look odd. I sort of get that, and the response from a lot of people was it makes her, you know, it's just like Barbie, it's not better. I don't mind either way. I do have to say I like attached eyelashes. I prefer them, but so be it. You know, it was a design choice. She's got this gold metal bra with inset pieces. It's obviously sort of harking back to a seashell bra, but, you know, high fashion. It's kind of like a pearl in the middle. I think that's a really cool play on that idea. And then another play on that idea for her human outfit is it's got a starfish in the center. And again, that is really adorable. I actually kind of prefer this one because this is just a little bit hard to wear. One of the things I love about this doll is that she has this fantasy headpiece. So it's meant to make her look like she's almost got sort of gills on her ears. And I think that that's really cool. I'm going to enjoy dressing her in that. When we take out her accessory tray, we can see all the bottoms. So she's got the mermaid tail, which is pretty lovely. It's very iridescent. I like that it's got this look of scales to it, but then it's also got a pattern on it. And the pieces to the side are really nicely shaped. They are fabric that's, you know, kind of burnt edge, so they don't need to be hemmed, so they can get this really wild shape out of it that looks very natural. And I think that that's really beautiful. She also has a unique stand base, which is like a shell. And again, this is one of the reasons these dolls were really compared, and the JHD was considered very derivative because we had this unique shell idea. But again, a shell is a C thing. I don't think you have to see one as derivative of the other. Now, this skirt here was my least favorite item from the set when it was revealed. I really don't see much interest in that skirt. I wouldn't put her in it. It's sort of okay. Whereas this one I think is pretty cool. It's long, it's got a sequin top and then the feather bottom, which sort of flares out again. It's meant to give that idea of, you know, sea foam in a dress that makes it look high fashion. I think that's really fun. One thing I actually hadn't noticed about this doll in the reveal photos was the belly button ring, which I think is adorable. It's actually quite nicely to scale. I like that there's a top and a bottom to it, and it's something that just makes her a little bit more unique. And because it's got that pearl colouring, it links her back to the sea and everything about it. In the accessory box, we can see all the different pieces that she comes with. So she has a pair of long gold boots and a pair of small heels that again have that pearl concept running through. I think both pairs of shoes actually are really fantastic. She's got quite a bit of jewelry which has a mix of the pearls and the sea theme. So we've got little starfish on this one, as well as the pearls and a string necklace which is all pearls. They're pretty. They don't wow me, but they are pretty. She also has her extra feet and her grip hands. I think it's nice that she comes with 2 pairs of feet, but this one kind of makes me feel like I wish that she had a real mermaid tail and that the legs were separate. And I know that that costs way more for a company to come up with a whole new body piece, but I just think it would have made it extra special. That said, it's very nice, and the mermaid tail looks good on. It's just that we're all aware that she has legs underneath, and I actually love that idea of, you know, a true fantasy doll. Now, Integrity Toys dolls are pretty easy to get out of their boxes. We just undo the strings everywhere and pull her hair out. Violaine's stand came with 2 alternative shafts. One of the regular ones that sits up in the waist, and this one has a sort of hook on it. I was a little bit confused when I first saw it because it actually did look like waist stands that a lot of dolls come with, and I'm thinking, what is there that can hold her when she's a mermaid? But actually this stand does a really good job hooking under each of her armpits and holding her up. And you can even give her tail, you know, some positions to make it look like she's swimming, and it was still holding really well. So actually, I'm really happy with this. I also love the shell stand. It's just a really cute feature. I think it's something that more dolls should do, is, you know, creating these unique and interesting stands, although I do feel that it may be a little bit difficult for her to stand on when she is wearing shoes, but we will see that. Now this is just her basic outfit with nothing added out of the box, so we can see how she looks. And the first thing I want to say is that her hair is amazing. I just love it. This is some of the most beautiful hair that I have seen on a doll recently. It's a really, really lovely platinum, almost jet white color mixed with this pearlescent pink, and it is just awesome. It's very long, and the waves just make it look almost sort of like really neat styled dreadlocks. I just love the whole look. It really goes with the fantasy theme without being over the top. I'm still not a huge fan on the bra, and when I took her out, it had sort of clicked out of place, so her bust was showing a little bit too much. It's clicked back in, and it's a good fit, which is nice, but I don't love it. I'm looking forward to changing it. It's okay. I don't dislike it. It's not a negative. Her tail sits really well. I'm actually really impressed by how well the fabric holds its position, considering it is just fabric. So it's really just the detail of the construction that's making it work like that. I've also taken out all of her little extras, except for the skirt that I won't be using because I just didn't like that in the pictures. But it actually really makes me impressed by how much stuff she comes with. Everything here is fabulous, and she nearly ends up with 3 complete outfits when you take into account that she has 2 pairs of shoes, but she also has her tail, so she doesn't need shoes with that. I do find the purse a little bit odd. I looked at the pictures to check that it was meant to be a purse. It's kind of a fun idea, but we'll see if her grip hand can actually hold it. Dressed up with some of her alternative wear, this doll is an absolute stunner. I have to say, I love nearly everything about her. Those fantasy earrings are such a clever idea, and they look awesome. And I realize she's in her human outfit, but nonetheless, I love them. The human outfit with the sequins is really fun. The top I find really whimsical in the way it ties, clearly getting ideas from, you know, a fun bikini. And I like that it's something that she can wear as either a human or a mermaid, and it will look really cool. The skirt is a little bit much. I find it was actually very hard to get on. It was tight, and with the feathers there, actually attaching the clip was really hard. I did manage to. Now that it's on, it's fun again, but I don't think it's that beautiful, and I think it's a kind of a pity that her 2 skirts are a little bit ordinary. It would be nice if there was one that was amazing. This is the one that could have been, but kind of isn't. That said, on the plus side, both pairs of shoes are fabulous. I was really struggling to decide, and in the end, I don't really know why I put the long boots on. I just did, but the other ones are probably I like equally as much. They are really cool, and so you get 2 awesome pairs of shoes, 2 good tops, 2 okay skirts, and the fabulous mermaid tail. All her jewelry is really good. This one here is a charm bracelet. The downside of it was very hard to get on, but it has lots of fun charms. And you can see that the conch shell purse, she actually can hold. I was dubious about it, but it actually carries into her hand pretty well because of the nature of the clip and the magnetic clasp. It works. And then her charm bracelet, yeah, has all these adorable little pieces on them that each have a sea theme, pearls and shells, and it is beautiful, but it is super duper tight. It actually can't go over her wrist, only over the joint part with her hand, so that's a downside. This is a stunning doll. People complain all the time about the prices of Integrity Toys dolls, and sometimes I agree. I have not purchased either of the $300 gift sets that have come out recently, but this doll at $200 I think actually is very good value. I know that might sound weird to say. How can a doll that's $200 be good value? But all the different things she comes with, and so many things absolutely unique to her. I think she's really very good. So similar theme, different doll. This is Aphrodite. Morning Glow from JHD, and obviously the first thing to note is that we have this massive box which is taken up nearly completely by the seashell stand. Now I thought that was a really cool feature, to be honest, but whether you think this doll is worth it or not is really going to come down to whether or not you like that seashell stand, because it is such a big part of this package. Her gown is fabulous, and you know there are other features to her, but the seashell stand is huge. Whether or not this doll is good value, it all comes down to that. So I am interested to see it. I really thought it was cute, but whether it's worth $200, let's see. Taking Aphrodite Morning Glow out of the box was pretty straightforward, just undoing the ribbon ties. One thing I have never seen before, and I hope I never see again, is instead of stitching the gown into place to hold it there were these strips of double-sided sticky tape. It is a little bit hard to tell what they are, but that is what they are. And unfortunately, literally everywhere where they've held the gown, they have left this sticky residue. It's pretty gross. Not only that, but there was at least one spot on the train where it caused a tiny bit of fray. That's pretty disappointing for a $200 doll. Now, having a look at her, this is where I guess we start to feel that, you know, she's maybe a little bit derivative. I can see that she's got this long hair. If I compare it with Violaine's, you can see the styling is very similar. And of course the gown, if you compare it with the Barbie Aphrodite, shows a lot of similarities, particularly in terms of the colour scheme and the bust design. When it comes to the similarities to Violaine, I would say these two came out not too far apart. I don't really think that JHD were actually influenced by Violaine. I don't think they could have been. When it comes to the hair and obviously the seashell stand, I really think that those things are influenced a lot more by the artwork, the traditional artwork of Aphrodite, than they are by any other doll company. The gown is a different matter. I do think that that is heavily influenced by the Barbie, because I looked at the Aphrodite artwork and it really didn't resemble any of them, but what does it resemble? It resembles the Barbie gown. So I think that's a pretty logical step. That said, it has a lot of differences and it is heavily suited to this Katie girl body, with the curving there that goes around her wide hips, and I think that that's pretty cool. So rather than complaining about it being derivative, I think it's really good to see, well, they've used some really fun elements as influence from the Barbie and they've made it their own to work on Katie girl. So is that a bad thing? I guess it's your opinion. This doll makes for a fantastic display piece, and let's be honest, it is all about the display for this doll. It is a beautiful design, but to be honest, everything, all the details have gone into the display. Everything else is kind of secondary. So she does come with some other items. You can see she's got some earrings here. They're sort of gold and round. I'm not sure if they're meant to suggest shells or if they kind of look like horns. She's also got some bangles. They're more or less just gold hoops on each arm. They're kind of okay. They're there. That's all I would say. Her shoes are nice, but they aren't special. They've got quite a lot of straps. They've got a buckle. I managed to squeeze them on without undoing the buckles. It wasn't easy. The gown itself is stunning. That's part of the display. Her face is not as beautiful as some others. She has the Kimura face mold, which I am kind of hot and cold about. I felt with these two options between Morning Glow and Evening Glow that I preferred Morning Glow because the head looked a little bit better on the Katie girl body to me for Kimura. It looked a little bit bigger, whereas the other head just didn't quite look in proportion when I saw the pictures, and that's why I chose Morning Glow. I also liked the colours because I thought that the blue and pink lended itself to this idea of the sea. Kimura herself I don't love, but it's nice. I just, you know, I look at her face and I'm not sure if I want to keep her. The actual, you know, setup, the whole theme, I love. This is awesome. I've never had a huge display piece like this with a doll. It's really beautiful, and I can see my Violaine looking great on that. But Kimura, I'm not as sure about. Maybe there is another Katie girl who could go in there. I do love the hair. It's really nice, but at the same time, it isn't as beautiful as Violaine's was. And I sort of miss the colour that is in Violaine's. I think that light pink would go really, really well with Aphrodite as well. The gown is gorgeous. It's got a split up the front. It's got a flare, a mermaid shaping, but with the split as well, which is really nice. I love the sequins up the front that are in that same colour scheme. Really nice. But when it comes down to it, there's nothing more to talk about. I've just told you about everything that this doll comes with. If we have a look at the face again, I also don't see so much detail in her makeup. I like the green colour and the pinkiness above her eyes, but it doesn't, you know, doesn't wow me, and I often find that with JHD dolls. Seeing these two dolls together, you can absolutely see why people have been making so many comparisons and talking about, you know, these companies sort of copying each other. Look at the colour schemes, look at the whole theme as a whole, look at the doll's hair. There are so many similarities, the shells running through everything, but nonetheless these dolls are very distinctively different and I think have their own place in collection. I have to say that Violaine has really wowed me, and in terms of value for money, I think I absolutely love this package. You can see why she was so popular and why she has become really sought after amongst W Club dolls. I think she's everything. One of my favorites I've ever bought, and she comes with so much and so many different options for that money. She displays so nicely too on that stand. Beside Aphrodite, she looks fabulous. They look great together. I love that shell. But I just find myself looking at Aphrodite's face and thinking it's not the most beautiful I've ever seen. And then looking at the whole package and, you know, comparing what she's wearing with everything Violaine has. You know, look at all those little pieces of jewelry, all those little extra details, those amazing earrings, even the little shell purse, and thinking, I really feel like JHD could have given her something else. Why doesn't she have a purse or a necklace? I mean, honestly, it wouldn't have been that hard. I really like both of these, but if I were to spend $200 again, no problem, Violaine, I would buy another. Just look at Violaine up there. Honestly, I cannot get enough of looking at this doll. She is so beautiful. Aphrodite, yeah, she's quite nice. Violaine,